Oh yes, I finally found a game that I truly like and I've been playing for hours. It's called Brown Dust. Pardon my voice if it sounds different. I've been coughing a lot today and this video is going to be a little rush because I actually have plans for weekends, but I'm squeezing time from both today and tomorrow just to finish this video. So by the time it's out, it should be Sunday, I hope. Now don't let the name of the game or the fact that it's a mobile game fool you. This is one of the more enjoyable strategy games that I have played for a very long time. This game has so much to offer that I cannot share everything in one video, so I asked myself, as a review, what is the most important thing people are looking for? I come to a conclusion that it's not about guides or spoiling every content of the game. It is the core uniqueness of the game so that we could decide if we want to play the game ourselves or not. Let's be honest here, the majority of games we see being released lately has been somewhat copy and paste games. Just slightly different version of essentially the same game genre. Simply because of the risks involved for developers to step up and be creative with their own mechanics. Brown Dust got their global release around February this year, and from what I've heard, it was a hit in South Korea. It is not entirely its own thing. There are many aspects of it that are similar to the current trends of mobile MMO turn-based character collection games. So yes, there are arenas for PvP, there are dungeons, raids, towers to climb, guild wars, events, global boss fights, and many more. When it comes to upgrading your characters, there is the normal level up with experience, skill ups that unlocks and upgrades skills, the rank up system that increases the number of stars to increase the level cap. There is the advancement that turns them into a higher tier character where the stars changes color and you unlock a special skill. There are even runes and gears that you can put on individual characters. Those runes and gears can also be further upgraded. Oh, did I mention that they have almost 300 different characters, which in this game is also known as mercenaries. Now I'm not talking about similar characters but with different colors like some games will play them off as. This is legit individual characters with their own name and most of them with their own storyline. They have a huge campaign, daily and weekly missions, and just so much more, which is why you can see it's almost impossible to put everything in one short video. Now I can already hear you on the other side of the screen yelling, okay, we get it. There's lots to do, but drowning ourselves with things to do is not exactly a definition of fun. So what's so cool about this game that I would prefer way more than other games that drowns us with things to do? It is their combat system. The battlefield consists of 36 tiles, slightly more than half a chessboard, 18 of which is yours at the left and 18 tiles at the right is occupied by your enemy. You can deploy up to 9 mercenaries. How many games have you seen that allows you to control and fight with 9 characters? Each of them have unique features, skills, and roles. The mercenaries are categorized into warriors, defender, magician, and supporter. You will need to organize them based on your enemies and your mercenaries' abilities, and then assign the order of which your mercenaries move, starting from the first, the second, all the way to the last one. If you have friends, you can also apply a 10th member onto your tile. Now you're probably going like, okay Zelp, big whoop, but is that really so amazing? So here comes the hard part, the part where I try and show you why this is so cool. And I think the easiest way is to play a few games with you. But before we start the game, you'll need to know a bit about my mercenaries. So, story time. Meet Carlson. He's one of the beginner mercenaries that you'll get, and he is a defender. His damage isn't very impressive, but it is after he attacks, he puts up a shield that could reduce incoming damage by 35% for 12 turns. He was recently awakened and now he has the ability to be immune to damage over time effects like poison and bleed. Next, we have Reginetti. I don't really know how to pronounce the name. She was stealing while being in a desperate situation. We found her and gave her a job as our mercenary. She may be a kid, but she is deadly with a bow. Her arrows can stun enemies, leaving them inoperable for 6 turns, and after her recent awakening, she now starts off with a decent critical damage buff. Now meet the beautiful but wild Beatrice. She came out of nowhere attacking us over a misunderstanding. Once that's cleared up, she joined the crew as she enjoyed your company very much. Her strength is in her ability to deal extra damage to defenders, her attacks remove enemies' buff, and after her awakening, she leaves her enemies bleeding towards their doom. These 3 mercenaries are only base 3-star characters, but when they are together in a field, they could pull off a crazy combo on every 3rd attack from any one of them. I prefer to let Regenetti be the 3rd to attack since her attack could go behind the front lines, often killing someone with 1 hit with this combo. However, sometimes it's also a good idea to let Beatrice be the 3rd to attack if you want to utilize Regenetti's stun and do more damage to defenders. Okay, now that you're well versed with the 3 basic mercenaries that we have, I want to make a build revolving around them to fight against this boss. Now the reason why I'm doing that is because they are basic units and everyone is going to have them. It's up to you if you want to rank them up or not, but the idea here is that since you have played them before, there's more things for you to relate, and also it's interesting to see how I don't have to use like all the crazy 5-star characters that I have to defeat this boss if you know what to do. Now before I actually go on and design my formation, I want to show you guys a trick that you can do is, let's say you're very lazy, you can actually just click auto deploy, and what they'll do is that they'll put your best tanks in front, followed by 3 best warriors, followed by 2 best magicians, followed by your best support. Now the reason why I'm actually starting the game and I'm actually making it really fast, 2 times the speed, is because you're not really going to be able to process it that well without knowing what they can do, without having a good understanding of the game. But I do want to show you that even with such an optimal default build, you can hardly win the boss. So it really is more strategy than just plain having like the best or strongest ranked character. Of course, a high ranked character is going to help you because they have more damage, they have more health, they can take more hits, but still the strategy in this game is very important, and that's what I like about this game, the satisfaction of winning because of an implement of something that you thought of that a lot of people would have done differently. Now you guys know I like to nerd sometimes, and this is pretty much one of the ways where you can take that nerdiness and apply and win a game. So as you can see, we did manage to win with that build, but then we got only 2 stars and we almost lost. Now what you need to do first is actually analyze what this boss can do. So this boss, his attack pattern, he targets the first enemy that he sees, so in this case is Carlson. He is in the 2nd row, so the first one you see is in the 2nd row. If I pull Carlson down to the 3rd row, the first one I see is going to be Beatrice because it's in the same row. You also know that over here it says 1R, this means that he attacks every 1 round. He has a health of 15,000, damage of almost 6k, which is a lot. Which is why from the demo just now you saw he's pretty much one-hitting every single character except for Carlston with his shields on. He also have 3 other abilities, so let's take a look at see what that is. This one is a permanent debuff immunity. That means no, you can't debuff this character. Whatever debuff you want to try and apply, I think this includes DOT damage like bleed and stuff, so it's not going to work on him. The next thing that he has is that he removes already applied buffs. Okay, so if you have a buff, when he attacks you, he's gonna destroy those buffs. Another one is this one, which is his last one. Applies attack reduction effects to the enemy who attacks 12 turns. So if I attack him, I'm gonna have a debuff to lower my damage for 12 turns. So before the 12 turns I attack him again, my damage will be significantly lowered. Right, then he has his minions, and let's see how it works. They also have an attack of a cross, so since there's no one in his row, he's going to go for the next row, so which is Carlson, so it's going to attack. Now this one is the same row, so there's no notification or anything, it's going to attack like that. And this one, he's supposed to attack people on this row, but again there's no one there, so it's going to attack Carlson. The way he scans where he's gonna attack is that he looks through this row, no one. He go all the way to the top and look over here, there's no one. Then he comes to the 2nd. So that is how they are programmed. So if I have Beatrice here, he's gonna aim for Beatrice instead of Carlson, right? Okay, so now that we know how they attack and what's their pattern, let's try and set up a way to kill them. All these AoE, you don't want to have two characters in the same AoE. The reason why is because one hit is going to do double the damage. And we already seen that this boss can do a lot of damage. It's almost one hit KO all my characters. What I'm gonna do is, first I'm gonna put him as far to this end as possible so that we have a little bit more space to play with at the back. Then let's say, okay, let's just put them here first. But I feel like we'll need this. Now this is a 5-star character. It's a base 4-star, but I leveled her up until she got 5-star. The reason why we need her is that she has her attack pattern is very unique. She skips one target. So let's say the boss is in front, she'll skip the boss and she'll attack the enemies at the back. And the attack pattern is sort of like an X. You can actually see it over here. It's like an X. And that means that with the low health these characters have, she'll be able to one-hit them and kill them all. So that will save us a lot of, even though they're actually not doing a lot of damage, but they do have this curse though that reduces your stats by 20%. So yeah, we do want to take them off, because if we have even lower stats, that means our damage will also decrease. We really don't want to have that. So this is probably like the only high level character that I'm gonna use for this match. Maybe? You know what, now that I think about it, I think it'll be more effective if I have another one. Let's say this support. Well, yeah. So before she was also in the team, but then they didn't use her properly. She wasn't used to her full potential. So let me explain a little bit about her attack, or rather what she can do. So she is a support. You can tell by the squares that they're standing on. If it's blue and it has a shield, it's a defender. If it's red and it has a sword, it's a warrior. If it's green, it has a person on it with some plus signs, that's a support. And if it's a mage, it's purple and it's supposed to be a hat, right? So now she's a support. Supports cannot attack enemies. They only can target allies. And her ability is to buff them with high critical boosts. It's not just 20%, it's 20% times her defense. And her defense are 24.7. I believe it's taken as 124.7 and multiplied by 20%. So it's gonna give you a little bit more than 20%. Not a lot more. Maybe, I don't know, less than, I think about 25% maybe. So what's gonna happen next is that whoever that attacks him, she will gain their buff, which actually is not really gonna play a difference in this game. But the important thing that she has that I feel like I want to use is her taunt. So she is one of the rare supports that has a taunt ability, because she is a unique support that has really high health. Most of the supports that we have, they are relatively low health. So this one is level 55, 21.2k. If you look at a warrior at level 59, is 2k plus, right? So this one at 56, really close to her, is 1.8k. So supports do usually has low health. So this one is very special. She's high health, high defense support. I also ruined her with I added some runes on her to increase her defense, and that will actually also increase her buff. So we're gonna use her because of that buff. I'm gonna put her right there. Now her target is the one that she targets, like in this case she's targeting Carlson, and the other 3 tiles behind Carlson is gonna get the critical buff. Alright, so now the idea here is that we're gonna take him off so fast, right? So he dies early, therefore most of us don't die, because again, he can kill us with one hit. I think we need to go with another set bonus. So Remember that crazy combo that I told you guys about with Carlson, Beatrice, and also Reggie? It is actually a combo because of this set effect. So there's many other types of characters. If you have them, they'll display it over here. If you don't have them, you can actually look it up. It's in like a codex or something. So here, let's say this one. If I were to use them, I can potentially increase the health of all my characters by 30%. But I don't have this guy, so it's only 2, so it's only 10%, so dramatically decrease. But I will use this support. The reason why is because this support, let me just show you close. So this support has a buff. This buff increases damage by 32%. Now it's not just 32%, it's times the support power. So the support power is displayed over here, 138. So 138 times 32%, you'll probably get around 40 plus, maybe even 50%. So that's gonna increase my damage dealer's damage, which is great. The next thing that I think I will need, let me see. So this one attacks like that. Okay, so see, they're not touching. Okay, very good. This guy, I don't want her to die, so I might put something tanky in front of her. Let's see, the next thing that I want is high damage. So there is another set effect by an assassin, this guy. So his set effect is the same as Carlston and his one. So if you have 3 of these, they will do a combo. So we're gonna use them here instead, like that. Okay, so the idea here, we already have 9 deployed. The idea here is that if these 3 don't die, they still can't touch us. So I'm gonna put this guy here, pull him back, pull this girl back as well. So like this now, let's see. Now it would be... Okay, so there is one more thing that I'd like to point out, is that because of her ability, being able to bless or increase the critical of a straight line, it would be best for 4 of them to be together so that all of them get the buff. Okay, so we will just have to hope that we kill him fast enough before he takes this 2 out. I think it will work. This guy... Alright. Now we're gonna have to rearrange them. Remember, I want Beatrice to be the one to do the combo. She has to be the 3rd one to attack. But before that, they need to be buffed first. Okay, so, okay, I realized something. This one should be here, so it should get the buff. This one needs to be at the front. Okay. Alright. So let's see. So first we're gonna reset everything. We're gonna let this support start. So she has a taunt ability. That means that all of these, if they are alive, they're gonna try to attack her for 8 turns. After the 8 turns, the taunt ability will wear off and the boss may not even want to hit her. But during that time, if the boss is triggered, he will kill her in 1 hit anyway, so it's not really that important. So have her buff this girl, or because she will buff the 2nd one after her. I mean the 1st one after her. So her and she will attack as well. Hopefully her attack will take out these 3. Then the next one I want is for Carlston to do the attack because I need him to have his shields. Then after Carlston, we're gonna take this support because this support is gonna buff all these other people and increase their damage by 32%, more than 32%. So he has to target the Dracula guy because you want to cover all these squares. Okay, and then now we have to play with the order. So we want Beatrice to be the 3rd one out of the 3. So we're gonna get Rennie and then Beatrice. So it's gonna go like Carson, Rennie, Beatrice, and then she's gonna do the combo. Then for these, we want the assassin to be doing it because I believe, I'm not actually really sure, but I believe the assassin has the highest damage. So it'll be the Dracula, this guy called Karg, and then him, which his name is Leto. Okay, with that I think we have our formation. Now you can actually click on combine orders. So by clicking this you can actually see who goes first, because sometimes they vary depending on their agility, or also like if it's a magician they don't actually take a slot. Even like support as well. So for example, this one go first, right? Then we have a support, so his step doesn't really count. That's why immediately after number 2 he goes to number 3. Same goes with this support. Immediately after 7 it goes to 8. It's as if it skips them, but in reality it's just that for supports their ability doesn't count as a step, you know, in a weird way, but it does count as a turn. So if you have a buff or something that lasts for 8 turns and a bunch of supports just run through, that 8 turns will be lowered as well. Okay, so from what we can see, I already know what's gonna happen. So this guy, Ref, he's gonna attack Walia, that's her name. He's gonna attack her first, then she will use her buff all these, and at the same time she's gonna use her taunt, right? But before these guys could attack, our friend here, her name is Corette, and she is going to kill them off. Okay, once all these are dead, the next one will be him. Carlson will attack the boss and gain his shields. Then so this one is already dead. Then this one will start to buff. We'll buff all of these 1, 2, 3, 5 players, and then the Dracula will attack first. And then it's the boss turn. Now by this time I believe that her taunt has not gone off yet, so he's gonna attack her and she's gonna die. Okay, but we wasted one of his attack in this whole round. Then the rest will start to follow, as in the rest will start to attack. Next one will be Reggie, and then our Beatrice is gonna do the combo, do massive damage there hopefully. And then we have Karg, I can't really pronounce the name, like K-A-R-G, how do you pronounce that? Then we have the assassin, and hopefully that's going to be a lot of damage. Okay, and then the next round. So if the next round comes and let's say he has his shield, I believe he can take 1 hit, as in he can take 2 hits because he's a strong defender with lots of health. So if he can take 2 hits, the next round will be, everything's going to play out exactly the same except without her. So these will not get the critical buff and she won't be able to taunt him, but he will attack him. So essentially 2 rounds has passed and only this support died. On the 3rd round this guy will die. If we reach the 4th round this 2 will die. If we reach the 5th round this 2 will die. And well, if we by then we're not going to get our 3 stars, so it doesn't matter. We want our 3 stars. Alright, so let's play it out and see. Now I'm going to make it slow so that we can actually see what's happening. Half the speed. There you go. Wraith went first. Attack. Not much of a damage because she is pretty tanky. Too bad she's just not tanky enough to tank the boss. There you go. Corette just destroyed the people at the back. And this boss came in with 5k plus damage. Whew. There you go. He has his shields on. I believe the shield only lasts for, I don't remember, 12 turns, 8 turns. There you go. Oh, here comes Beatrice. There you go with the combo. Come on. Oof. That is some good damage. Alright, here comes the assassin with his combo. Yike. Okay. I think, come on, survive. Oh, that was so close. That was really close. Okay, can we kill him in this round? The problem now is that all of them hit him and all of them have that debuff that lowers their attack. Remember at the front when we were reading his ability? Oh, and a critical. Nice. So perfect. I wanted to do more than just one match because there's a lot of different conditions where you need to plan differently, but it's just taking too long for me to explain. However, as an example, if you run a AoE damage formation on a large group of enemies, you can potentially do a lot more damage. But if you could not take out the enemy in the first round and they have a healer that helps them regain their health, your damage would have been wasted. The longer it takes for you to take them out, the more damage you will receive. So you might want to go for a more concentrated targeting build that can take out 1 or 2 enemies for sure every round. That way, their healer won't have much effect on the match. The other thing that I feel sets this game apart from other mobile games is the fact that you don't feel like the game is trying to siphon all your money. I managed to play this far without feeling the need for energy or the need to spend real money to progress. I can't tell for sure how this would feel in the future, but I can see for sure that PvP will always be more beneficial for pay-to-win players. With that said, this game doesn't really benefit you a lot from winning in PvPs, so it doesn't really affect you that much. Another main aspect I like about this game is the small things the game offers that makes it feel like they care and knows what a player wants and not just another company running a business. They made nervous PvP without high-level mercenaries so that it's capped and it's less pay to win. They have a sleep button for you when you're running automatic repeat to lower the performance and battery consumption of your phone. They have a window for all the chats so that you don't see the spam and unconcerning topics all the time. Fusible mercenaries has a warning sign on them so that you don't accidentally use them as a material. The summoning system and many other animated parts are usually skippable. The music is so soothing and the art is great. The harem storyline aren't that bad and it's kind of funny. Personally, although I don't think the sexual appeal the game is projecting on female characters should be the selling point of playing this game, to me it's more like just an added bonus. So if you don't mind the excessive use of cleavage and you are willing to try your hand on creating a strategy army for every scenario, give this game a try. I really think that you'll like it and should be a great way to burn some extra time while challenging yourself outdoors, since it is a mobile game and you can play it even if you're not in front of your computer. Now that I've shared the main uniqueness of this game for this review, hopefully it will help you decide if this game is for you or not. If I were to make a part 2 to this game, it would be more about guides on certain aspects of the game, or if you have something specific you'd like to know about the game, do tell me down in the comments. For now, I guess this will be it. Like and subscribe to the video and see what happens. Have a pleasant day. Bye bye. So funny thing about this week was that I have plans on a weekend, and the time that I was free, which I thought that I could finish off this video, my internet stopped working, and after that the server went for maintenance, a really long one. It's one of those huge maintenance. I wasn't expecting to work on Monday because it was a school holiday, but it turns out I had class, so I had to rush there. And even right now as I'm recording this, it's actually going to rain and there are thunders happening off and on, so I have to re-record. It's almost like there's some unknown greater force preventing me from making this video, which is why I have to.